Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Friday, it's Yu-Gi-Oh! Day, and while we didn't get to do a Yu-Gi-Oh! Video last week because of all the stuff we had going on, I wanted to make sure I got one out this week, and I'm really excited for what we're going to talk about this time. Normally I do the gameplay. I was actually going to talk about the meta this week, but right before I record this video, something special got announced, and I wanted to cover it on my channel for anybody that didn't already find out about it. But if you guys watch Ruggles, I'll link his original video down in the description. There's a new archetype that's coming out in Phantom Rage, and he actually got the privilege from Konami to announce it. It is called Mutant. They are a fusion-based archetype with a very, very interesting playstyle. They've already been covered by both Ruggles and Simo, but now we're going to talk about it because I'm really interested in this archetype, and since I already have a couple boxes of Phantom Rage pre-ordered, I might pre-order one more because I really want to make this deck. So let's jump in, and you guys can tell me what you think about it. So up first, we've got a trap card called Mutant Cry. It's a normal trap card. The artwork on all these cards is sick as hell. During the main phase, fusion summon one mutant fusion monster from your extra deck by shuffling the fusion materials listed on it into the deck from one of the cards on your field, in your graveyard, and or face-up banished cards. You can only activate one Mutant Cry per turn. So we've got a trap card that lets you make the fusions on either player's turn, and it uses field, graveyard, and banish. There's actually not a whole lot of fusion cards that use all three. It's either like just banish, just graveyard, or just field and graveyard. Like never all three. And the fact that it shuffles them back into the deck means we have some recursion already. Now, from what I've heard from the two videos that I watched already, the deck has two starters. Here's the first one, Mutant M-05. This is a water attribute 2-star psychic effect monster. If this card is normal summoned or special summoned, you could add one mutant monster from your deck to your hand except itself. You contribute this card, then banish one card from your hand or face up on the field. Special summon one monster from your hand or deck based on the banished card. Now, I'm going to stop there because this next card has the same effect, and then we'll cover both of them at the same time. Now, this is the other starter. This is a Mutant ST-46. Water, level 3 psychic effect monster. If this card is normal summoned or special summoned, you can add one mutant spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. You contribute this card, banish one card from your hand, or face them on the field, special summon one monster from your hand or deck based on the banished card. Now, here are the three choices you get to summon. If you banish a monster from your hand, you get to summon a Mutant Beast. A spell, you get to summon Mutant Mist. A trap, you get to summon Mutant Arsenal. You can only use, they both have the stipulation where you can only use their effects once per turn. Those three are the level 8 monsters. We'll get to those in a minute. We have one more monster to cover before those three, I'm sorry. This is their level 4 monster. This is probably the worst monster in the archetype as of right now, and even so, I still don't think it's that bad. It is a Mutant GB-88. It is a Psychic Water 4-star. During your opponent's main phase, if Mutant Evolution Lab, which is their field spell, if you have it on the field zone, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand, which is cool because it acts kind of like a hand trap. If this card is special summoned during your opponent's turn, you contribute this card, then banish one card from your hand or face up on the field. Special summon one of your level 8 mutant monsters that is banished or in your graveyard. So it becomes a monster reborn for your graveyard and your banish. And since you can wait with it in your hand, you just wait until it's your opponent's turn and then drop them and do whatever you want. Now, we get into the level 8s. Now, these are the boss monsters of the main deck. We're still not even getting to the extra deck yet. So this is Mutant Beast. He is an Earth 8-star beast. The first three were all psychics. This one's a beast. Now, he cannot be special summoned except with the effect of mutant cards. Your opponent cannot target this card with monster effects. That right there is already huge. Monster effects are so prevalent right now in the game, but it'd be nice if it was unaffected by all monster effects, but I'll take not being targeted. You can only use each of the following effects of Mutant Beast once per turn. When your opponent activates a spell card or effect. Quick effect, you can banish one card from your hand or field, negate the activation, and if you do, banish that card. So it negate and banishes the spell card immediately. So it's got protection from monster targeting, and it can negate spell cards. So that's pretty powerful if you ask me. If this card in the orange position is destroyed by a opponent's card, so by effect or battle, target one of your banished mutant trap cards and add it to your hand. So even if it does die, you still get a card back, so not bad. Up next, we got Mutant Mist. This is a Wind Elemental, level 8, spellcaster this time, instead of a beast. Cannot be special summoned except by the effect of mutant cards. Your opponent cannot target this card with spell effects. You can only use each of the following effects of Mutant Mist once per turn. When your opponent Whoa. Okay, so this one can't be targeted by spells. Sorry, I blew right by that. When your opponent activates a trap card or quick effect, you can banish one card from your hand or field, draw 2 cards. So any trap heavy decks, you can literally just banish a card, draw 2. If this card is in the owner's position is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can target one banished mutant monster and add it to your hand. So this one can't be targeted by spells, has an effect in response to traps. It doesn't stop the trap cards, but lets you draw cards, which is drawing cards is a big deal in Yu-Gi-Oh! And if it happens to get destroyed, you get a monster back from the grave. That's actually pretty cool. Imagine if someone, uses Conquistador to pop it. You can use the effect to draw 2 cards and then get a monster back too. And lastly, we've got Mutant Arsenal. Fire, level 8, machine monster. You guys know I love my machines. Cannot be special summoned except by the effect of a mutant card. Your opponent cannot target this card with trap effects. You can only use each of the following effects of Mutant Arsenal once per turn. When your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can banish one card from your hand or field, then target one monster on the field and banish it. Again, it doesn't negate the monster effect, but it does you can immediately remove a monster from the board. A lot of examples I saw people with it that were talking about it was Alka-Fabrics. As soon as he goes to get the tuner from the grave from the deck, you could just banish the Alka-Fabrics. Cut off their Link Climber right away. If this card in the owner's position is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can target one of your banished mutant spells and add it to your hand. That's actually really good. Oh, I forgot to mention, Mutant Beast is a 24/24. Mutant Mist has 27/29. He's huge. And Arsenal is 3,000 and 1,000. Sorry, I blew right by their attack and defense points. Alright, we got the first fusion. Mutant Synthesis. This is a water level 8 psychic monster. 2,500 attack, 2,000 defense. This one takes 2 mutant monsters with different attributes. If you look back at everything besides the 3 low-level monsters, everything else is different. They're all different elements. It's just the 3 babies are the only water ones. So you can use any of them plus any of the big guys. If this card is fusion summoned, you can target one card on the field, destroy it. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can activate this effect. For the rest of the turn, this face-up card is unaffected by the effects of an opponent's card of the same type. So, if they go to activate a monster card, you activate this effect, it is now immune to monster cards for the rest of the turn. They activate a spell card, you activate the effect, unaffected by spell cards for the rest of the turn. And so on and so forth. You just do it, there's not even a cost. You just activating the effect is the cost. Okay. If this fusion summon card you control is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can add one of your banished mutant cards to your hand. So it's also, no, it's a level 9. 2, 4, 6, yeah. So this one lets you get back any mutant card if it happens to get destroyed. It's got built-in protection, it's got decent stats, it's really easy to summon, and if you use it with the trap card, you can summon it during your opponent's turn and pop a card. So that's pretty solid. And then lastly, for the last fusion monster we got is the big boy, Mutant Ultimus. I hope I said that right. This is a dark psychic monster, 2, 4, 6, 8, level 10. 3,500 attack, 3,000 defense. He's a big boy. This one has to be made with 3 level 8 or higher mutant monsters. So you can use multiple of the same copy, but they have to be the main deck 3. When a card or effect is activated, quick effect, you can banish one mutant card from your hand, graveyard, or face up on the field of the same type, monster, spell, or trap, to negate the activation, and if you do, you banish that card. If this fusion summon card you control is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can add up to 3 of your banished mutant cards, up to 1 each of a monster, 1 spell, 1 trap, to your hand. You can only use the effects of Mutant Ultimus once per turn. Okay, so how do I feel about Ultimus? He's a big boy. He's a little tougher to summon because he's so specific, but that negation, he's basically an Omni Negate, and because he's your hand, field, and graveyard, you almost are always gonna have him. Whether you fusion summon him with the trap card. Now you have the trap card in the graveyard. You can fusion summon him with the spell card that we'll get to in a few, but you'll have a spell negate in the grave, plus whatever's in your hand. And if worse comes to worse, you can technically use him to negate a monster effect if you need to. And if he happens to get destroyed, you get a monster spell and a trap card back. Now, here's the field spell. I actually really like this field spell. I just wish it gave you an immediate plus, but it's not bad. So it's called Mutant Evolution Lab. When this card is activated, you can special summon one level 4 or lower mutant monster from your hand or that is banished. We'll get to why I think that's cool in a second. Mutant monsters you control get 100 attack for each of your banished mutant cards with different names. Okay. Once per turn during your main phase, you can place one mutant monster from your hand to the bottom of your deck, and if you do, draw a card. You can only activate one Mutant Evolution Lab per turn. So, why is this card cool? A, you don't have to get stuck with all the level 8s in your hand. You can cycle them down to draw an extra card for free. The attack power boost is okay. Now, hear me out. Say you play ST46. Banish M05 from your hand. Well, you play ST46, you search the field spell, banish M05, get beast. Now you play the field spell, and you can special summon the M05 that you just banished, and now you get a monster search too. And that's for the cost of nothing. You did that all basically with one card. So, I think it's a pretty cool card. I think it actually has some decent combo potential. Now, Mutant Fusion is their main fusion spell. It's a normal fusion spell. First off, it has fusion in the name, which means you can Anaconda it. Already cool. Fusion summon one mutant fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing fusion materials listed on it from your hand and field. Hand and field, like a polymerization, but instead of going to the graveyard, they get banished. It's kind of meh. If your opponent has activated a card or effect this turn, you can use one monster each from your deck and graveyard as fusion material. So if your opponent used a hand trap, if your opponent used a spell or trap during your turn, you can then not only use your hand and field, but you can also use your deck and your graveyard to help make the fusion. So that is pretty interesting. I wonder how that works with Verde Anaconda. Like, if my opponent activates a card and then a Verde Anaconda, do I get to use my deck and graveyard too? Because, I mean, it gets the effect, but that's a conditional effect, so I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking it. The last card we have right now is an equipped spell card called Mutant Blast. This is probably the worst card in the archetype so far, but I would probably still run it at 1. A, it's searchable, and B, it actually has a decent effect. Equipped only to a level 8 or higher mutant monster. So you can equip it to any of the level 8s or any of the fusions. At the start of the damage step, if the equipped monster attacks an opponent's special summon monster, you can banish that opponent's monster immediately. It never has to battle. While this card is equipped to a monster, you can banish this card. Send the monster that this card was equipped to the graveyard. If you do, special summon one level 8 mutant monster with a different original attribute from your hand or deck. So, say you have one out. Your opponent is playing a different style, or say you had one out. Say you're on Mist, you want to get Beast out for a spell and negate and monster targeting protection. You could then just immediately swap it out, just for the cost of this card. The only thing they could have done to made because it has to be destroyed by a opponent's card. Never mind. I almost had a big brain thing. Now, we have 12 cards right now. Apparently, there are 2 more coming in the set that they haven't yet to reveal. These are just the first 12 cards they're showing us. And like I said, I already really like it. I'm actually waiting for it to go on Online Simulator so I can actually build the deck and try it out. I had no idea this was coming. The artwork's really cool. The style is really cool. People are already talking about different techs you could put into it, like emergency teleport to get any of the starters. Trade in because of the big level 8s. And another big thing is that none of the spells, none of the traps, none of the monster effects lock you into this archetype. You're not locked into just playing mutants. You're not locked into just psychics. You can splash this with this or your extra deck with any other kind of card. So that opens up quite a few possibilities too. So that's it. That's it for on this, guys. I really think this archetype has some serious potential. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you guys enjoyed this video, drop a like, subscribe. I do Yu-Gi-Oh videos every Friday, and I would love to do another analysis of another deck. Next week, I've got another special video for you guys to check out, so keep an eye out for that, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Later.